What's going on, Collider Games fans? I'm Caboose, and today what I got for you guys here is my official review for A Plague Tale: Innocence. Now, I gotta be honest, I really had no clue about this game's existence, nor did I have any expectation or hype for this game up until we were getting close to the actual launch of it, when I had started to find out what this game is about and what's going on in A Plague Tale: Innocence. So, leading into it, not too much hype, not too much excitement for me, but I also didn't think it was going to be bad or anything. I literally just went in with zero expectation whatsoever. So with that said, when I actually got to playing this game and I really sunk my teeth into it, I gotta say I was pleasantly surprised with what this game has to offer. It is a survival horror and it completely excels at exactly that. Each and every mission really have you on the edge of your seat, and the stealth and everything is very well done in this game. There's some great ambiance in the missions, and you really feel that sense of dread if someone spots you and starts chasing you down. It's really scary, so kudos to the team working on this game for pulling off what I'm assuming is what they really wanted to pull off with this game. They did it tenfold. They did a great job at the whole aspect of it being that survival horror, and the stealth surrounding this game is really well done. So I cannot praise that enough. That was what kept me on the edge of my seat and kept me coming back playing this game for hours on end. There's also some action in the game. It's not all stealth sneaking around constantly. You know, you're going to be chased around by people sometimes, or you're going to be fighting some bosses, and that is pretty fun as well. Definitely not nearly as good in terms of gameplay as some of the stealthier stuff, but I expected as much considering that that's not what the game is at its core. It's not meant to be this huge action adventure by any means, so the fact that there was a little bit of that sprinkled in and it still kept me engaged is something that I would consider a bit of a positive. Now, if we get into some of the negatives, though, I do want to say that from a graphical standpoint, from a facial animation standpoint, not the best. The voice acting is pretty good, but the graphics, everything just not really holding up to standard too much. But I mean, it's not horrible. There are plenty of instances where the game does look very pretty. I was playing on the Xbox One X, which is where I assumed the game is going to be running its best, and it looked pretty good at times. It just didn't feel like it lived up to the expectation that's been set with the console generation. Not that I was wanting it to, it just didn't look the greatest. It didn't look like an indie game, it didn't look like a AAA title either. So if that's one of my complaints, I guess that's something I consider a negative, is that the graphical fidelity of the game wasn't the absolute best, and especially the facial animations look a little rough at times during some of the cutscenes. And although there's quite a bit of hours to be consumed running through the main story of this game, just about roughly 10 to 12 to be exact, although that is a rough number, you know, it depends on what kind of player you are and how much time gets consumed in retrying certain missions, so I don't want to give an exact number, and I usually don't like to give an exact number of how long a game is, because for some people it might be a lot shorter, for some people it might be a lot longer. The point that I'm trying to make is, after you run through the story mode, I don't think there is too much to be offered here from this game. Not that there should be, but regardless, I just am not sure if the game is worth the price of a full game. I don't think it's worth the full $60. If you're into survival horror, if you're into those stealthy type games, this is right up your alley, and I would highly recommend it. However, if that's not necessarily your style, if you're a little on the fence of getting the game, I would just wait until there's a bit of a sale before picking it up, because otherwise I'm just not entirely sure that this would be worth going out and spending that $60, or for me, it would be like $70 to $80 because of the Canadian dollar being terrible. Either way, I just don't know if it's worth the full price, but it's a really solid game. So if we're going to sit down and give this game a verdict, I would rate A Plague Tale: Innocence a 7.5 out of 10. I think it's really solid. There's some fun gameplay here, and it's a really engaging story with some awesome missions that will have you on the edge of your seat. Just don't know if there is enough to be offered here to be spending the full price of a game, and the graphics and the facial animations aren't the best either. And that's it. That's my review for A Plague Tale: Innocence. Now we're going to kick it to you guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you have the game? If so, what do you think about it? And if you were looking forward to it, well, what did you think about this review? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed the review, a positive rating would be appreciated. And you can subscribe to the Collider Games channel for more gaming coverage. You can also follow me on Twitter at CabooseEK, linked in the description. I've been Caboose, and I'll see you guys later.